Say only Sai. No, that's enough.
No, my name.
Oh, your name. You forgot your name.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Jim Grisanzio from Oracle Code 1 in San Francisco, and I'm here with two really great friends, Sai Penamudu and Sendesh Rao. Now,
Hey guys.
I met these guys in India just in July, basically, right? Actually, I've known you for a little bit while, but I just met you in July. And they took me on this insane trip of India, 6 cities. I went on 6, but the whole tour was 10 cities.
10 cities.
You know, it's called the India Yatra, and it's a Groundbreakers tour of all the tech centers in India. That's how I got to know these guys. So I saw them walking over here on the show floor, and I just grabbed them because the stage was open, and we're going to talk about community building. We're going to talk about all things involved in building the community everywhere around the world. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Who wants to start? Sai?
Yeah, so I just want to give you a little background about All India Oracle Users Group. It started in 2007. Now we are almost 12 years old users group. The purpose of users group, we started especially for networking and learning knowledge from key speakers. And also we expanded. Initially we started in Bangalore with a small tech event. Then we expanded, running in multiple times. Then we understand that that's not enough for Indian community, right? You know about Indian community, how many people are there working from and supporting from metropolitan cities, right? So then we expanded. Now we are at like 10 chapters. So again, we thought like let's arrange an annual conference, which is Sangam. That's a meaning of meeting of minds in India, right? The purpose of Sangam was like bringing all the key speakers from Oracle, and also we host Sangam after the Oracle OpenWorld. That's the best time where we get all the new announcements from the key speakers, right? So that's all. And also like Sangam we always host in Bangalore and Hyderabad. Then we are actually not, so that's what we started something called Yatra. So it's basically taking all the key speakers into multiple cities and talking about these days all autonomous and cloud, so all the stuff. So you want to add something, Sandesh, on this?
I started going to these conferences about 3 years ago. That was my first yatra. And the first thing I realized was the sheer amount of energy that you actually get when you go to these conferences. You see the way people want to participate in these conferences. They're so hungry. Everybody kind of wants to learn something. And that's what motivated me the first time to do these conferences. Now, Yatra is kind of like it's a very unique conference. I've never done anything like this for a while. And this was one of my first conferences where I started doing these multiple cities.
It's like it's like a series of conferences.
It's a series of conferences.
It's actually not a user group tour.
Yeah.
It's a conference.
It doesn't feel
tour.
like that.
It's
Yeah.
very, because this is the sessions were all day,
Yeah.
every day, multiple tracks.
Yeah.
It's
It's different cities, different kinds of people. People want to learn different kinds of stuff. Some people just want to take bits and pieces of information around. Some people want to participate in long sessions. Some people like hands-on labs. So it's something that basically caters to all sorts of audiences. But at the same time, it is a good exposure to the different cultural parts of India as a country, right? You want to know your users. You want to participate. You want to grow the community. So community is a combination of people, which is 90% of the stuff, and then 5% technology, and 5% is the tools and techniques that actually connect you. Whether it is social media, whether it is Twitter, or it's any of these other things. So for me, the excitement is to actually go there, participate with all of these people, and then do all sorts of stuff. And Jim, you were thrown into the mix with all of us.
Oh my God! Yeah.
It's like you see the selfies flow, and then people go crazy after all this stuff.
He's like the king of selfies here, and the thing that's so interesting is it's magnetic.
It is.
When we were actually, so the developers in India seem to be more on LinkedIn and Facebook, and not as much on Twitter.
Yeah.
But we were trying to get everybody on Twitter because that's a big connection to the West, right?
Correct.
And people were signing up to Twitter. We got very, very significant, exposure on, Twitter. And what was really interesting is some of my friends during that week were at other conferences, other open source conferences, and they were noticing all the activity in India.
Yep.
Just because of Twitter. And
See,
it
Sai
was
has
really
Twitter.
interesting.
Sai has Twitter competitions. And the thing is, I don't answer a question unless actually someone takes a picture or a selfie with me
Oh,
and
yeah.
actually tweets it.
Yeah.
So it's one way. So it's the best event, the best marketing you can get from an event is all the people around you. And one thing we've realized is for people to get more engaged with the community and to get this constant flow of information even after the conference is over, it's very important to connect to these people. So Sai has got this whole thing going with Telegram for people to communicate with each other, to try to answer technical questions, meetups where people can find out, okay, I'm in Mumbai, what events are going on in the next month in my city. So there's all these different mechanisms he has set up in place that actually enable people to connect, share more information. And as for Oracle, it really benefits us because the community kind of truly becomes autonomous. It drives itself on its own.
Right.
And we are just the catalysts that actually provide the technical information, the announcements, and then the community just rolls mostly with it.
I think, if you look at, I don't want to name the competitors. I think Oracle Users Group is one of the biggest and the oldest one, right? And I always say it's like a platform to share your knowledge and networking. I always prefer networking because in our conferences we bring people from different companies, and that way you share network with people. Because people always say, oh, I understand this one from YouTube, so what is the purpose of coming to conferences by just paying money?
Totally different experience.
So it's totally different experience, right? So for example, you may fix something in 30 minutes. I'm taking maybe a 2 hours time. So this is the way you connect people, and it is like I think there is a saying, right? You help in terms of knowledge, bringing somebody's mentoring in career development. That's the biggest way of helping somebody instead of
So what were some of the technologies that you guys discussed? I mean, when we went on this tour, or at least the Yatra tour, there were like 30 speakers. So they generated a very significant amount of content. So give me an idea of what some of the technologies that the speakers were talking about.
So I think we pretty much covered almost all the new technologies, starting from autonomous database, and Sandesh subject is machine learning and artificial intelligence and in-memory. So that's one side of it. And also we also focused on developer side, for example, microservices, DevOps, serverless.
Apex.
I think you can go to ogyatra.in and you look at the agenda. Still, you can download you can actually view all the presentations. Again, it's a community, right? Somebody not able to attend that particular day, still they can actually go through the presentations, and we are available, right? So we are available, and that's why the importance of Twitter, right? So you can't, for example, even Sandesh is here in San Francisco, but people can connect, ask questions, that's why it's a very important platform.
Even for me, I mean, people were still responding to tweets a couple of months later,
And that's the power of this whole platform, right? It's not just about the tweets, it's about the kind of tweets we do. It's about all the sessions we go to, it's about all the selfies we take, and that is what bonds all of community. To answer your previous question, there are 4 major categories, right? There's all the e-business people, so there's all the applications folks, there's the database folks, there's the developers, and then there's the data scientists. You want to be able to address all of these, and that's what all those sessions basically were. They fall into one of the 4 major categories that Oracle is targeting. Mainly it's applications and its autonomous database, but from a role perspective, it's also developers and data scientists. Like everybody wants to build a machine learning program. They have tons of data sitting in Oracle databases that people actually want to build stuff on. And they want to find out, how do I do this? How do I deploy a machine learning platform? How do I use autonomous data warehouse to basically use machine learning? I'm not a data scientist, but I want to use machine learning to do stuff inside the database without having any ideas of what machine learning basically is. So these are the kind of sessions.
And the rooms were full. I mean,
these
these are highly technical sessions, and the rooms were full. I mean, and by full, I mean hundreds of people.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
It's always like that, Jim.
And also, I think, Jim, we are not only addressing the Oracle users, we are also planning to help their kids, family.
That's another thing.
Right?
Exactly.
So, So one of the thing is kids, we basically run a robotic automation, programming that people are really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So we won't actually expand, but it all depends
That's my
on
favorite part of the conference, by the way.
Yeah,
Hanging around with the kids is my favorite part of the
kids.
conference.
And those little hackers, they were really articulate.
Yeah.
They were really actually presenting themselves beautifully. Yeah.
So we actually want to expand, but it all depends on we all volunteers. We really want to expand. We have a lot of ideas, but it depends on our time.
Right.
But
Yeah,
especially
because it's 100% community. The Yatra Tour is 100% community
yes,
run, right?
yes, and especially I need to thank all my volunteers, right? So they are like just effortlessly they're working.
That was actually another thing I was going to mention, because in each city we went to, I mean, you were the leader, but you can't do all that alone, So all these people who were, involved in, building the community and managing the local events.
The most interesting part of this yatra was we had a couple of new cities which didn't really have a beachhead. So
Right.
we had to go there, set things up, and do things at pretty much near real time. And we went there and everything was well organized. And we were like surprised to know there was no local leader in those chapters. We were setting up those chapters.
Right. You got to do it manually. You got to
And
create.
he
this.
managed to get all that stuff done. And
Yeah.
it was actually great. Well, of course, we're lobbying to get Goa on the list, but, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I think I was talking. So this year is 10 cities. So next year is maybe 12 cities.
Oh
yeah.
my God!
So
I only did 6. I don't
and,
know if I could do 12
Jim-
next year.
Yeah, Jim is going to cover all 12 cities next
All
time.
12.
So make sure that you're available on that time, July.
You're in trouble.
The whole month of July in India.
Absolutely, you're in trouble.
12 cities.
We'll show you a lot more cool stuff about local India and culture. That's the
Yeah,
benefit of
well-
Yatra. It's not just presenting, it's about interacting, it's technology with a tinge of culture thrown in there so
Right.
you know the India. I saw some of your pictures that you've
Like-
taken of India.
Yeah, like for
Right.
instance, we were in Hyderabad, and before we started the event, there was this Hindu ceremony beforehand, and it just floored me. It was just fantastic. So, okay, let's shift gears a little bit. That's Yatra, that's a tour, very intense, multiple cities, all back to back. Distinguish for me what Sangam is, because there's a Sangam event is coming up in December, first week of December.
Yeah.
I hope to be there as well. So, what's the difference?
So again, as I mentioned, so we initially started our annual conference Sangam, right? And we always do it in Bangalore and Hyderabad. These are the places we get a lot of response. Like easily we can reach around 1,000 people to this conference. But other cities, we are really not, giving value. So that's why the Yatra started after Sangam. But Sangam is, even if you are somewhere in, corner of the, for example, if you are from Delhi, please come and attend Sangam, because that's a place. Again, there are a lot of planning in place. For example, we do always Sangam after Oracle OpenWorld, so that we take all the new announcements, new features, key speakers to the Sangam.
So this
And
content here from this.
it's all means I can't cover around
All the
1,000
announcements, yeah.
1,600. But again, we pick all the key speakers and make sure that we actually provide that information to all the users, right?
Right.
And we are expanding every time. So now I think we really had a really good meetings. We want to run hands-on lab. I had a Oracle University. I met with Oracle University head. We want to run a test fest. You can come and clear your certification at the venue itself, right?
Cool.
So don't miss
That's
this
cool.
opportunity. People are coming from different cities. Yatra means maybe you are talking to localate, but this one is actually talking to the entire India, right?
Cool.
I think it's the biggest difference between Sangam and Yatra is a highly concentrated, potent set of sessions, fun, balled up into 2 days, versus being distributed across 16 days, across different cities. Individually, this conference is bigger than each and every one of the cities in Yatra.
Right.
And obviously it has way more tracks. So I've always found that I learn something new when I just go randomly and sit in some of the sessions that the other speakers are presenting about. So if you don't have time, you want to learn a lot of stuff, and you're willing and dedicated to give 2 days of your life to something that will probably save you 3 to 4 months of learning time, Sangam is a conference in India for you.
Cool.
Because all of us are busy.
And also we are providing the opportunity to talk to directly with the product managers, product owners. You never get that opportunity, right?
Right.
So you can directly ask them, this is what the product I'm using, I'm facing this problem. So it's really a opportunity to meet really key guys. Yeah.
Great. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming by. I appreciate it. We're out of time here, and we'll be back here. Actually, so I'm hoping to be at Sangam for sure. Well, I am going to be at SongCon.
You don't have a
Not
choice.
hopefully. I'll be
We're
there.
going to drag you out there.
Right, and so I'll bring my kit here. Well, actually, we'll do some videos as well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So please sign up for sangam19.info. Look at, we are going to publish agenda in a couple of days, all the speakers. So please use this month. We are doing early bird. Use the platform. Thank you.
Cool. Well,
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll enjoy the rest of Code One here in San Francisco, and we'll have more interviews for you guys later on. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
See ya.
Bye.